Hey guys, this is Brandon at the Edge Pro Nebraska Blades, and we're going to highlight our third machine here. This is our CS201, or also known as our low amp machine. It's in the same exact case as the 101, or the Big Red is. The main difference that you'll notice is on the switches down here, you're going to have the on-off switch. It also has a circuit breaker in there, but then it has a variable speed in it. Basically what we have is a controller inside of this cabinet that allows the machine, instead of all of the power going straight to the motor and firing the wheel off real quick, in this machine here, the wheel comes up to speed, the motor gets power a little bit over time. And so it takes about 45 seconds or so for the wheel to come up to speed. And then that same controller inside also works as a brake, and it slows the machine down in that same 45 seconds. So due to that controller and increased cost there, this machine is a little bit more expensive. What we would kind of say is the top end of our machine. But this machine is really was a machine that we designed to meet the mobile sharpener right where he or she is at. A lot of times in your mobile sharpening unit, you don't have a situation where you have enough power, or you haven't been able to go out and get a generator large enough, or an inverter large enough to power up your 101 machine that has that heavy amp draw, whereas this one's just going to draw a few amps on startup as well as on shutdown, and it runs out under an amp. So very little draw on your power there, so if you're running an inverter, your batteries will easily last you throughout your day's work while you're out on the road. On this machine I have our 16-inch wheel. This is our largest wheel that's in our everyday manufacturing. We do have a 21-inch wheel for an older machine that we have discontinued. Feel free to contact us if you need a new machine or new wheel of those, or anything to go on with your machines there. We do every once in a while we'll have some machines in stock of that as we're working through some old inventory, or if someone is getting a different machine. We also will still have those wheels around from time to time. So if you have a 21-inch machine or 21-inch wheel and have questions on it, definitely let us know about it, but we don't really market that too much, because the 16-inch wheel really covers the majority of the needs that we're going to have in the industry. A 21-inch wheel basically is just going to make things a little bit more efficient when you get onto the large animal blade sizes. So talking about like our horse and cattle and sheep blades. But here's our 16-inch wheel. Our 16-inch wheel comes as a cast aluminum versus the rolled aluminum that we've seen in the 10-inch and the 14-inch wheels. There may be a day when all of our wheels just come as cast. Still working through a little bit there, but this is what it looks like. And what that casting means is basically there's a lot of little pits going on here. These are when they're made, there's some air is impregnated into the mold, and it creates little air pockets all around. You have some of them even on here, one that's kind of bigger and looks like a little bit of a fracture. And basically what that does is it ends up having more of like almost, if you kind of picture like a Velcro texture holding our grit onto the plate. The wheel's going to bridge all of those holes and all of those gaps. And by the wheel, I mean the blade is going to bridge all of those holes and gaps. And so we don't have to worry about that and our wheel being damaged or anything along those lines. But all of those pockets are holding grit and just going to help protect the surface of this plate as it's tapered, not a truly flat surface. We need to make sure that taper stays true so that our blades are coming out correctly. And so these holes are going to all help in protecting that surface of this plate as long as possible. With this plate, in our process of gridding, putting grit on the plate and seasoning it, we're going to be able to get 10 to 12 blade sets per charge on this plate, and with this machine running at the speed that it's running. Again, same cabinet as the Big Red 101, so our sides here are up above the wheel containing the mess. The cavity in here is a lot more full as we've got 2-inch bigger wheels, so we've got it pretty well filled up. I have a controller down here, the switch down here on the side that allows us to turn that wheel down to a much slower speed. We would use that on trimmer blades. We'll also use that for some of our other little more off-brand blades. Sometimes they don't handle the heat quite as well. from that may build up when we're sharpening at full speed. So in those cases, we'll turn the speed down a little bit. This machine also has a little cover right down here that's going to work for being able to see the controller down inside there. Every once in a while we will run into an issue with this machine. That controller in there has a lot of mechanisms inside of it that try to protect it because it's not cheap and they don't want to ruin the motor or that controller. So if there's a dip or an or a surge in your electric circuit coming in, that controller can shut off, and it'll shut your machine off. You won't be able to turn it on. And so in that case, we want to know, one of the things we'll want to know is what's the code on that controller telling us, because that's going to help us back at the shop be able to identify what's going on so we can make sure that you're still working and staying in business. So that's just a little indicator there to let you be able to see what's going on. Another note on that is if you are plugged into an outlet that has a GFI or ground fault, a lot of times that doesn't work well with the controller, because kind of you have two safeties. You have the GFI, and then the controller has its own built-in safeties, and both safeties kind of cancel each other out. Otherwise, we have very, very little issues with this machine, almost really none whatsoever. But with that controller, you just run into a few other nuances when you have a really simple machine, like our 101, the Big Red, where it's just a motor and an on-off switch. Now you have a little bit more technology, and anytime we introduce technology, there's a lot of pros and things that it helps us with, and a few other things that little nuances that we just have to be aware of. So that's what we have there with that. That same lid that we're going to highlight in a later video fits on this machine, on this box as well. So that's that. We don't have any extra holes in the sides of the machine because it doesn't need a brake. So the kit that comes with this machine won't have a brake in it either, because the brake's built into that controller. It does that work for us. So you're not going to spend time, one, you're going to be safer keeping your hands out of the machine instead of having to stop it by hand. And also it's just going to be faster for you for that to slow down. And then you can get everything re-seasoned and ready to go again. This is probably our #1 selling machine, as it meets kind of the most needs as far as this machine and this wheel. It's going to meet the most needs, and the differences between the prices are small enough that typically people will end up going with this machine. It opens up all of your markets at the most efficient level. So if blades are something you're going to want to attack, and you want to make sure that you have the right tools for that job, this machine is going to check all the boxes, if you will. And so that's our recommendation for you. Hope you find this helpful. If you have any questions on what you need to get your business set up, we would love to be able to help you. Whether you're purchasing from us or still trying to contemplate what's right for your business. Really, our business, we want to cooperate with your business, come alongside you, and meet your needs in the best way that we can. So definitely don't hesitate. Leave a comment here for us. Give us a call, email us, find us on Facebook. If this has been helpful for you, hit the thumbs up. If you have any recommendations for videos in the future, as we're going to highlight some more Nebraska Blades products, definitely let us know. We want to make sure that we're meeting your needs out there. Yeah, stay tuned, subscribe to our page, or subscribe to our channel here, because we're going to be putting out more content that hopefully you find helpful in your business. Thanks for watching.